So we go to business economics paper 1 for January 2023. So what is the name given to a firm that manufactures cars? That's manufacturing sector. It's in the secondary sector. We have primary sector, which is for extraction of raw materials. We have secondary sector, which converts raw materials into finished goods, which manufacturing is part of them. And we have the tertiary sector, which is about services like teaching, education, banking, insurance, tourism. So here it's manufacturing. Manufacture of cars is part of the secondary sector of the economy. So it's B. Question 2. B. A firm that employs 540 workers has a total monthly output of 27,000 units. What is the monthly labor productivity of the firm? For labor productivity, it is output divided by number of workers. Output divided by number of workers. That's the formula for labor productivity. So here we have our output to be 27,000. Then you divide it by 540, which gives you 50 units. That's 50. Output divided by numbers of workers, 50 units. Question C. What is meant by the term division of labor? Division of labor is the specialization of an individual on one task. Division of labor is the specialization of an individual on one task. That is what division of labor is. And you can also divide it as the process of breaking down production process into different stages, and each stage is being performed by different people. So that means there's a production. We split it into different stages. So like the schools, they have business teacher, they have math teacher, they have English teacher. So each teacher does its own job or its own task. That is what division of labor is. But in a short way, you can say division of labor is the specialization of an individual on one task. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. We'll go to question C. D now, sorry. State one factor of production. When we talk about factor of production, we're talking about resources that help in the production of goods and services. These are factors of production. Resources that help in the production of goods and services. So we have land, labor, capital, and enterprise. They said we should state one. So you can just choose enterprise or land or labor, just one. So question E. Define the term public sector. We call it a public sector because government provides goods and services. It's the provision of goods and services by government. That's the public sector. Is it clear? Is it clear, please?
How would you write to them?
Yeah, government provision of public sector is the government provision of goods and services. Public sector belongs to government. So in that sector, government takes charge of enterprise. What to produce, how to produce.
How to produce,
yeah.
For all to produce.
Yeah. So we go to question F now. I said we have Joseph paints portraits of tourists who visit his hometown. He recently reduced the price of the charges by 2.5% and quantity demanded increased by 3.2%. Calculate the to-do decimal place the PED for Joseph's portraits. You are advised to share your working. For price elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. That is what PED is. Because in the exam, they might ask you the meaning of price elasticity of demand. So the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. That is PED. And the formula is percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. So here we have the price has increased. They said the price has reduced by 2.5, which is negative 2.5, and the quantity demanded has increased by 3.2. That's positive. So we have 2.5 divided by 3.2. 3.2 divided by negative 2.5. So that gives you an answer. So we go to question G. Are you there?
Yes.
So for question G, they said Figure 1 shows the market for trainers. Using the diagram below, draw the likely effects on the market after a popular celebrity was seen wearing trainers. Label the new curve, the new equilibrium price, and the new equilibrium quantity. So here they're saying there's trainers, trainers that people wear. So they find it in a celebrity wears it. So it means the demand for it will increase because everybody wants to be like a celebrity. Do you understand? Like Cristiano Ronaldo wears a trainer, a Nike trainer. So everybody wants to wear the same trainer, yes or no? Yes. So the demand for that trainer would increase. Do you understand? So do you get the point I'm making there? So the demand for trainers will increase as the quantity for trainers will extend from QE, are you there?
Yes.
From QE to Q1. As a result of that, the demand curve will shift rightward from D to D1, and the price will increase from PE to Q1. So there's going to be a new equilibrium price at P1. because the quantity demanded the demand curve has shifted from D to D1 because the quantity demanded has increased from QE to Q1. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? So go to question H. Spice Cottage is a new food producing business. Its prices are lower than market research suggests. Consumers would be willing to pay. So explain one reason why Spice Cottage may not aim to maximize its profit. They said the price is lower here. So a business may not aim to maximize profit because it has other objectives such as maybe survival. The business doesn't want to make profit. It wants to survive. So because it wants to survive, Spice Cottage might have been charging a lower price because it needs to survive. It wants to continue to be in the business. That's why it's charging a lower price. And when you charge a lower price, it means your revenue will be lower. And as a result of that, your profit will also be lower. So you won't be able to maximize profit because you are charging a lower price, which Spice Cottage is doing. So go to question H. No, question I, sorry. Megabus provide cheap bus travel in Canada, the US, and the UK. Research showed that if income rose by 10%, then the quantity demanded for bus travel would fall by 15%. So there's an elastic income elasticity. The income elasticity here is elastic. Well, I'll get to calculate. They said, with reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, analyze why this knowledge could be useful for firms such as Megabus. First, what is income elasticity of demand? Income elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in the level of income. YED is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. That is YED. Then the formula is percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in the level of income. So here we have our quantity demanded as fell by 15% because income increases by 10%. So it's going to be minus 15% divided by 10, which is minus 1.5. And whenever you are calculating your YED, if it gives you a negative figure, it means the product is inferior good. And inferior goods are goods that we buy when our level of income falls. Are you with me?
Yes.
So it is income elastic because it's income elastic and it's an inferior good. So that's about that. I think it's clear. So we'll go to question. So here I wrote, the calculation shows that Megabus is income elastic, I said that. And this awareness will allow Megabus to adjust its services in those countries like UK, US. So because now it knows that as soon as the income level increases in US or UK or Canada, people will stop going through the bus. They might buy their own cars. So that makes the demand for Megabus cars be income elastic. So as income increases, people stop going through buses. If they can afford to buy a car, they will buy instead of going through public transport or mega buses. Is it clear? So that is question 1. Question 2. We have a chart. The chart shows market share held by a firm within a market. So they said, which one of the following options is the type of market shown here? When you look at this market, we have firm 1 has 24%, firm 2 has 23%, firm 3 has 22%, firm 4 has 12, 19. So in this market, few large firms are dominating. So firm 1 and 2, firm 1, 2, 3 are like dominating the market. So there are few large firms dominating this market. So when few large firms dominate a market, it's called an oligopoly. An oligopoly. So the answer is oligopoly, which is D. Do you get that? For labor is not doesn't have anything to do here. Labor is the physical and mental effort that helps in the production of goods and services. It's not labor. Public means people. It's not public. A monopoly is a market structure which one firm dominates the industry. Here it is not one firm. There are few large firms dominating. So the answer is D. D. Question B. They said an increase in which one of the following is most likely to increase productivity? Bureaucracy means there's going to be diseconomies of scale. It is not good for a lot of paperwork because of administration. Congestion means there's external cost. It's not good. Regulation means new government laws, which might even reduce its productivity. So the only answer here is irrigation, which is the movement of the passage through which water can go to the desert or to the farm. And if water can go through the desert to the farm, water can go through the desert to the farm, then it brings about increasing productivity, increase output for farmers, and that is productivity. So the answer is C. Question C. What is meant by the term barriers to entry? When we talk about barriers to entry, these are restrictions that make it difficult for a new firm to go into an industry. Restrictions that make it difficult for new firms to go into a market or to enter an industry. That's C. Then we go to question D. Are you there? A firm has total fixed cost of $57,000 per month and variable cost of $750 per month. It produces 1,820 units per month. Calculate the total cost per month. Total cost is total fixed cost plus total variable cost. See, our total fixed cost is 57,000. Our total variable cost is 750 multiplied by 1,820. That gives us 1,365,000. So TC is TFC plus TVC, which is 57,000 plus 1,365,000. It gives us 1,422,000. So it is solved here. TFC is that, TC is TFC plus TVC, and when we calculate it, it gives you 1,422,000. So you're going to see it there anyway. So we go to question E. Are you there?
Yes.
Question E, they said describe one disadvantage for a government of using subsidies. First, what is subsidies? I did not write it here, I'm going to write it now. Subsidies are financial help from government that helps in the cost of that helps to reduce the cost of production. Subsidies are financial help from government to reduce the cost of production. Subsidies are financial help from government, which helps to reduce the cost of production. Which helps to reduce the cost of production. Cost of production. That's subsidy. So with subsidy, the problem about subsidy is that the money government spends on subsidy can be used for other government projects like education, like healthcare. But government is spending it on whatever it spends it on. So whatever government spends on here is an opportunity cost for something else. So if government is spending subsidy on fuel, it means government might not be able to spend subsidy on healthcare or on education. Is it clear? That's question E. We go to question F. Are you there? So they said, explain, he that runs a successful restaurant in a small town in Portugal, when a friend asked whether she was going to expand by opening another restaurant, he that said she was not. Explain one reason why either may have decided to keep her business small. Either may have decided to keep her business small due to lack of finance. So when you don't have, a small business does not have access to finance because financial institutions see them as a high risk, so they don't want to give them money. As a result of that, either might not be able to have money to open a new restaurant. Is it clear? Is it clear? Question G. Hong Kong telecommunication firm CK Hutch is planning to merge with Indosat, which is based in Jakarta, Indonesia. Indosat provides services for mobile phones and broadband. It's a growing business with a value of $2.2 billion and more than 60 million customers. Indonesia is Southeast Asia's most populated country. With reference to the data we have read and your knowledge of economics, assess, measure the extent to which a merger between CK Hutch and Indosat is likely to lead to economies of scale. So I wrote, economies of scale itself is a reduction in the average cost of production for firms because of expansion. So here, CK and Indosat are merging. So that means they are expanding. And as a result of that, they might be witnessing an economies of scale. So I wrote, a merger between CK and Indosat will bring about a larger firm. A large firm such as theirs may be able to operate on a larger scale, which allows it to purchase in bulk or share cost in advanced technology. When you are big, when you become bigger, like Indosat and CK, they might be able to spend so much on technology because they are coming together, they become one. So they are big now, they have financial capability to invest on advanced technology because they're going to share the money together, they're going to share the expenses together. They might be able to buy equipment or resources in bulk, which allows them to have discounts. That is an economies of scale. Then both companies may also be able to share the cost on advertisement. So if Indosat wants to do advertisements, it doesn't have to do it all alone. It has to do it with CK. As a result of that, the cost of advertisement will be shared among both of them. So that reduces the cost of advertisement. That is also reduction in average cost of production for firms. That is economies of scale. Is it clear? So we go to question. I think that's the end of question 2, right?
Yes.
So we go to question 3. Go to question 3. So which one of the following could be described as an economic need? When we talk about needs, these are what our living depends on. Without these things, we cannot survive. Food, clothing, shelter. And the only one we have here is shelter, which is C. Is it clear? Haircut is not. Anybody, I could choose not to cut my hair or barb my hair. Holiday, I could choose not to go on holiday. Smartphone, I could choose to buy a Nokia phone. So the only need here is C. Is it clear?
Yes.
Question B. Which one of the following is an example of an external benefit? External benefit is a positive spillover of production or consumption. A positive spillover of production or consumption. Education is the only positive spillover. Air pollution is a negative spillover, which is external cost. Overcrowding is a negative spillover, which is external cost. Resource depletion is also a negative spillover, which is external cost. So B, C, and D are external costs. The only external benefit here is education. Is it clear?
Yes.
So it's A. Question C. Draw a supply curve on the diagram below that the price elastic supply PS labeled the impact of a price change from P1 to P2 and its impact on quantity from Q1 to Q2. So if there's elastic supply, it means there's a significant change in the quantity supply as a result of a change in price, a fall in price. So it is elastic. Look at the graph now. It is elastic. It is far away from each other. So QE and Q1, it is far. Do you understand? So that is elastic. Is it clear? And there's a fall in price from PE, from P to P, from
P1
from P1 to P2. I think it's clear, right?
Yes.
So we go on. Question D. Every year in the UK, heavy rainfall is a cause of severe flooding in some areas. Calder there in Yorkshire has been badly affected for numbers of years. Increased water levels from the river Calder caused damage to residential properties, business premises and roads. The UK government provided £32 million flood defence scheme to try to reduce the problem. With reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, analyze why the UK government might provide flood defences. So what first? Government provision of flood defences is a form of government intervention. Government is intervening. The government is trying to do things because there is a market failure anyway. Without government intervention, the river Calder flooding may continue, causing firms to shut down and residents might also lose their homes. Flood will let people lose their home. Businesses will be shut down because they won't be able to operate. Do you get it? The UK government spends £32 million in the flood defence scheme because businesses, residents and infrastructure are repeatedly damaged. A lot of things are getting damaged. So government has to spend on it. The UK government is spending on it as a result of that. The flood defense could be seen as a market failure, as private firms will not provide resources. It's not the business of the private businesses. They can't provide resources to ensure that the flood is stopped or to manage the flood. So it's not going to be done by the private sector. That's why government has to take charge. So lastly, the flood defense system is an example of a public good. That is why government is taking charge. It's an example of public good. So it means it is non-excludable and non-rivalry. And it is non-excludable because your consumption does not stop my consumption. Irrespective of me paying tax or not paying tax. It's flood system, defense system. So everybody would be able to benefit from it. And it is non-rivalry because if you benefit from it, it does not reduce what I'm going to benefit from it. So that is why it's a public good. So government has to provide it. If government doesn't provide it, it continues to damage the property, the infrastructure, and the residents. And businesses will also get damaged. Is it clear? We go to question E. Are you there?
Yes.
So we have a case study here. It said, with reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, assess the impact of trade union activity on Morrison's and its employees. We talk about trade union. Trade union is an organization which is formed by workers to protect the interests of workers. Trade union is an organization which is formed by workers to protect the interests of workers. That's what a trade union is. So here, the trade union aim to protect workers' rights, increase wages, put pressure on government to enact laws that improve the working conditions of employees. When we have trade union, they make sure that they are pressure group. They put pressure on government to come up with laws that will be favorable to workers, like increasing minimum wage or working condition for workers. USDAW, which is used as a case study here, negotiated an hourly wage increase for the 110 workers at Morrison's by 0.80 cents per hour. So such increase may lead to a high unemployment, as it may lead to increasing costs for firms. As a result, many may employ few workers. So if trade union negotiates for increasing wage for workers, it becomes a high cost for workers. As a result of that, workers might not employ more people, or employers might not employ more workers. That means a lot of people might not be getting job because of high wage rates. Do you get the point here? But the advantage about it is that a high wage rate may increase workers' motivation. And if workers' motivation is increased, it might increase productivity. So if productivity increases, the minimum wage that Morrison is paying will not have any effect, because Morrison will be making profit. Do you understand? Is it clear? That is question 3. Question 4. They said, figure 4 shows the production possibility curve for an economy making capital goods and consumer goods. When we talk about PPC, PPC is a graph that shows we talked about it yesterday too. PPC is a graph that shows the combination of two goods, like capital goods and consumer goods, that can be produced if all resources are fully employed in an economy. That is what PPC is. Did you get that point? Here we have our capital goods and consumer goods. So they said, now the question says, when the current level of output is 250 units of consumer goods, calculate the opportunity cost of producing an additional 40 units of consumer goods. You are advised to show your working. So here, 250, look at it please. 250 capital goods were produced, but now they said additional 40 units were produced for consumer goods. So 250 consumer goods were produced, additional 40 units were produced. That makes it 290 consumer goods. So producing 290 consumer goods means there will be reduction in the capital goods from 500 to 400. So 500 minus 400 gives us 100 units of capital goods that will not be produced. So additional 40 units makes it 290 of consumer goods, meaning that we won't be able to produce more 500 capital goods anymore. So 500 capital goods will reduce to 400 capital goods. 500 minus 400 will be 100. So the opportunity cost here is the 100 unit capital goods that will not be produced because additional 40 units of consumer goods have been produced. Is it clear? Is it clear, please? Question B. With reference to the data, the question is there. I read it already to solve the question. It said, with reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, analyze how the equilibrium price of tangents sold to tourists is determined. First, what is equilibrium price? Equilibrium price is the price of agreement between the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied. The price of agreement between quantity demanded and quantity supplied. So we can use a graph to represent it. This is equilibrium price. This is the equilibrium price. We have demand and supply. This is the price, equilibrium. Clear? Then an increase in the popularity of tangents bought by tourists means there is an increase in demand at markets visited by tourists, shifting the demand curve rightward from D to D1. So the demand curve will shift rightward because there's increase in it becomes popular. So when a product or service becomes popular, the demand will increase, shifting the demand curve rightward from D to D1. Is it clear? Is it clear? And as a result of that, when demand increases, producers will respond to that increasing demand by increasing their price. So there's going to be a new equilibrium price at P1. The demand curve has shifted rightward from D to D1, which brings about an increase in the price from P to P1 based on producers' response to the increase in demand. Is it clear? So go to question C. Are you there? Are you there, please?
Yes.
Question C. It's a case study which you can read later on again. They say, with reference to the data above and your knowledge of economics, evaluate the likely impact of competition on restaurants, customers in Dahab. First, what is competition? Competition is the rivalry that exists between firms that are trying to sell homogeneous goods to the same customers. That is what competition is. So according to the case study, there are many firms that restaurants in Dahab, which means they have to keep price low to remain competitive. So because there are a lot of restaurants in Dahab, they have to keep their prices low so that they can remain competitive, so that customers can buy from them. So it's about the advantage, the benefits of increasing competition to customers. So that is the point there. So if prices are low, this makes prices become affordable for customers, which means they can spend less. Because the prices are cheap now, so they can spend less. Increasing competition may also allow customers to enjoy quality meal, as different restaurants may want to attract customers with quality. When the prices are the same, customers will start thinking about quality. So because there is increasing competition in the market for restaurants, all restaurants would want to find a way to make their products or services unique from those of competitors. So they have to they have to offer quality service. Increasing competition gives customers the opportunity to make different choices when it comes to choosing restaurants. Because there are a lot of restaurants in Dahab, it means customers have variety to choose from. That is also good for customers because they have many choices to make. However, due to lower profits, restaurants might not be able to spend on improving ingredients. So the problem about increasing competition and a lower price is that restaurants will not be making large profits. And if they are not making huge profit, they might not have that incentive to spend more in improving their ingredients because they don't have so much. So that ends paper 1 of 2023, question 4.